And we finally get to see the summoning system and the duel system that we're going to be seeing for the rest of Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS, and perhaps a very big change whether or not they're going to implement any of the stuff to the TCG. And the second episode showing Yuusaku's ace monster, Decode, TALKER, and well, there's a lot to talk about with the episode, so I'm pretty excited and all that to talk about this, as this is going to be our first duel talking about in the series with Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS. So first thing I want to talk about immediately is the new system and the new duel that they're going to be introducing into this one, as there's two duels now in Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS, as the original style that we know and love and used to is known as Master Duels, while the current duels that we're seeing with the surfboards are known as Speed Duels, and there isn't just a single name change on there because there's actually some very huge different changes in the rule set about these, and we're going to be getting into them right now. Being first of all those rules and all that is that you're going to be having free monster and spell and trap zones and all that. You're no longer going to be having the original 5, you're going to be having free. I feel like this is to stop a lot of the fucking shenanigans that pendulums are causing, and the same thing with like so many combos that you have where it's like summon monster, summon monster, summon monster, summon monster, wipe. Like, that's just how it was for like the game for a very long time, and I'm very looking forward to that. They seem like they've been changing it now, so whether or not that's going to be implemented or not, or whether or not they're going to backpedal through this is going to be an interesting one. But the speed duels and this practice where they've been like, hey, if this blows up in our faces, we could just make a lot of the duels like master duel styles. That's like how they can go, because, you know, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Series going to last on for a while, so we can generally see what that's going to be happening. So I like that, like what they're doing. Plus as well with the new summoning system as well, which is link summoning, and I was really worried about this and all that because of the fact of what it was involving with it. So let's talk about the link system in this series, where it's like it can be 2 monsters or more depending on what summoning thing you're summoning with. Thankfully, it isn't like how XYZ you have to have equal level monsters, so it's no longer 2 level 4s or part of this monster or synchros, or it's like, oh, it's numbers all over the fucking place, or fusions. It seems like with some of these monsters, there could be requirements. The later ones, it's I have 2 effects monsters, I can summon Decode, TALKER, bring it out, and it seems like that, like, as well, like kind of like how the SOCs, they're part of the monster, they don't have a level, they cannot be in defense position though. That's something. So are all like link monsters and all that, are they all going to be offensive monsters, or are they going to be some effect monsters, but their biggest weakness is of course they've got to stay in attack position? That's an interesting effect, and I want to know what happens. And it's like, what happens if a link monster actually gets hit? I know it's probably some of this is in the rule books, but obviously for the anime as well to explain it, what happens if like you do get hit by an effect that's saying all monsters have to be in defense position, not level ones? Like, what would happen if that's the case? So I want to know what's going to be going on from that case on like on there. With Decode TALKER as well, like you get to see as well that there are some skills in this series as well. There's another thing they're adding into it, which can be used once per duel. Like both players can use this. This can vary from, they said as well, this can vary from like drawing cards, which is the villain in this episode did. He drew like 2 cards, like the Knights of Hanoi, and you can involve increasing and decreasing life points, increasing attack points. Whether or not how much you can do from that is bullshit, but the guy that like clearly did a pot of greed duel on there, got 2 cards, so yeah, there's some shit like you can do with this. And the fact that Yuusaku's one, from what like you got to see from it, like as he went into like that giant data storm, where his one, the storm like ability and all that, it was pretty cool actually how he like put it around his head like that. I was like, oh, this is so fucking edgy, but I love it so much. Where he's like putting his hand over his head like that and putting his hand out in the storm, and it's like, if you're under 1,000 life points, you can bring out a powerful monster from these data storms, being these link monsters. So this is going to be the way how Yuusaku's going to be getting his cards from the creature from the series, it seems like, which I'm kind of alright with and all that if they get in there. But then again, it's like, I pulled up the victory card, of course, and I think most Yu-Gi-Ohs have just been doing that, or like recently where it's like, I had this ability to pull this out and all that, instead of like, yeah, even the harder cards for cheesy bullshit, but like, I don't know, it's just like, it takes a little away from the magic where it's just like, I just got lucky and bought the right card and shit like that. No, it's like, no, it's because I did this thing and that happened. So, but then when we got to see with Yuusaku's dueling, he has a new archetype as well. He has a Cyverse-like type, which we don't know, like, archetypes don't really affect the meta too much as far as I'm well. It's mainly what the monsters themselves can do. a little bit different from like how Pokemon, an entire type, can change the entire like meta system for a while. Whilst with this is like, it's mainly involving the Sideways cards, so it's like, oh, this is a Sideways type, and you can pretty much do some crazy bullshit with it, where like with one of his, like it's a Magician, it can actually, all Sideways monsters can have piercing damage, and it turns a monster into defense position as well. That's a pretty nuts ability to have. So yeah, definitely a very fucking good monster he had there. Revival Stacker, which that was able to bring back a monster. I was like, that's pretty impressive. I like that. And the only one we saw was like the security backup girl, like where it was like, I can special summon this card. That was pretty much it. So we didn't get to see too many of Yuusaku's cards. He did have like one trap card that you could choose multiple things from. It's like, you take 0 damage, the monster isn't destroyed this turn, and I forget the third effect, but it was kind of interesting in there. And adding into the fact that we finally know a little bit about Yuusaku's past, that he seemed like went through some shit as a kid when he was like, he's like carried away as like policeman in a fucking blanket. I was like, where was he in like a giant orphanage fire or some shit like that? Like, what's happening with that? I want to know what was going on there. Also as well with his like kind of friend's brother as well being captured. Seems like he's in some prison. And then as well, thirdly, he just wants to know like what the fuck is going on with like the nice Hanoi and all that. And I kind of like it wasn't just up to him as well, like, you know, like with what, like, you know, what we've learned from him from this episode. I kind of like that you got to see a little bit of Blue Angel. Blue Angel actually fucking helped him by pulling out like the whip and actually like saving it. That Decode guy seems really cocky though. He's like, he took all the attention away from me. Of course, I think they're all gonna have their reasons why. Because what we see, like, Blue Angel is actually, in real life, a really shy girl. Go just seems to be the same kind of asshole that we kind of know, and that's kind of how he is, but I'm sure he has a reason for it. And so far, from what we've seen of the main characters and all that, we can see whether or not Revolve is going to be interesting, because he's going to be in the next episode. There you can see what the rival's going to be like. So, overall, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good episode. It's definitely a big change to the series, and whether or not they're going to keep around this stuff in the link summoning, I don't know. I just get a little bit upset sometimes, because like, there's so many fucking summoning systems at this point. There's too many. There's just too many to keep up with. And every time I want to get back into playing Yu-Gi-Oh!, it's like, I've got to learn about 9 billion things, and then I've got to learn, no, this is the good new meta type, and I've got to learn their effects and their combo, and it's like, oh, it's a fucking mess. It's a fucking mess sometimes, I swear to you guys. Of course, obviously, a lot of you guys that keep on the TCG know about this, but it's like, every time I bring out a booster pack or something like that, I swear it's fucking chaos a lot of the time, where it's like, this is the new archetype they're bringing in this card, and then they'll be like, oh, we're bringing back some old classics, and now they're good, and then it's like, oh, they have cards, and then it's like, no, we've got to ban these cards and limit these, and it's like, oh my god, you can see how it can be a fucking pain in the ass sometimes to play this game, but let me know, guys, in the comment section down below. But that's all from me. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you guys, though, next time.